Hey my loves, welcome to the channel. It is Crissy G. If you are new here, welcome, and if you are back, then welcome back. I really felt like I needed to sit here and talk to you guys. You know that this is my absolute favorite way of recording for you guys and just telling my story. And here recently, I felt like there's been an uptick in people who are concerned about how much weight they're losing, if they're losing it fast enough, if it's working for them. I have so many of you telling me you're concerned because you've been on the medication a few weeks and you're not seeing the weight loss that everyone else is seeing. And you're not alone. Trust me when I tell you that you are not alone. I know, trust me when I tell you that I know that the expectation for these weight loss tools, supplements, medications, whatever it may be, is always an immediate effect. I was in that mindset for so many years, even at the beginning of this journey. For me, it was how much and how fast am I going to lose? Am I going to lose, 20, 30 pounds a month? Because when I was in my 20s and I would get on a diet, I would easily lose 20 pounds a month. And so my expectation going into this was I'm going to lose 20, 30 pounds a month because this is supposed to be some miracle injection where I'm going to lose weight at an incredible pace. And I think, like so many others, the disappointment is real when you realize that yes, this is a very effective tool for most people, but you quickly realize that, like everything else, you have to put the work into it. So I recently got a comment that really resonated with me, and I wouldn't say resonated with me, that really kind of took me aback, I should say, because she commented, if I'm eating well, if I'm drinking water, and I'm having to exercise, then what's the point of Mounjaro? And you comment below what you think this means and what how you take that, because the way I took it was you want no effort and you expect that you're going to take a medication or a supplement or some kind of weight loss miracle where you're going to inject yourself and it's just going to miraculously help you lose weight. That is not how this works. And I'm sorry to burst your bubble. If you're looking at videos to find out if this is the medication for you and if this is going to be your end all be all of weight loss medications, you are sadly mistaken if you think that this is going to be something you inject and you're going to miraculously lose weight. That is not how this works. I will tell you how it does work. For my diabetics, it's going to be a little bit different. And I do understand that sometimes weight loss is even harder when you're a diabetic. But in my own experience, from people that have, I know a lot of diabetics around me personally who have lost weight not only faster than me at some point, but who have lost more weight than I have, and who are also focused on their A1C, but who were also on this for weight loss purposes. Now, I also know a couple of diabetics around me in my life personally that do not care about the weight loss aspect of it. Their main concern is their A1C. And although we know that a lot of times obesity does correlate with diabetes, a lot of my diabetics could care less about their weight loss because they don't want to change their habits, and all they're concerned about is being able to pop a pill or take an injection and have their A1C levels, which I can totally probably agree with most of you that that sounds kind of counterintuitive or like it's not the right mindset. But for many people, it's just easier not to have to change your habits, be able to take some kind of medication, and then your blood sugars be leveled, right? They don't want to make an effort to make it better. They just want to be able to inject themselves or use something to help them get where they need to be as far as their blood sugar. Then I have the diabetics who are concerned, who do feel like they don't want to always depend on medication, who do want the opportunity to try and reverse their diabetes, who want to prevent. I know many pre-diabetic people who want to prevent becoming diabetics like myself. And so I will tell you that this medication is definitely the tool for you if you are pre-diabetic and looking to get out of that range. If you are looking for weight loss, then this is a great tool. This medication has done what no other medication has done for me, and that's give me very little side effects or side effects that are tolerable, versus medications that I've taken in the past give me jitters, they make me feel nervous, they give me heart palpitations, my scalp would feel tingly, I would feel jittery all the time, like nervous. And kind of like when you're not used to taking energy drinks and you take an energy drink and then you feel kind of jittery the rest of the day and you're kind of shaky and you feel nervous and you feel like you gotta go. That's what typical weight loss medications make you feel. And that's why for me those never worked long term, because I just felt like there's something, it's doing something to my body that is probably not great. And so I would lose 20-30 pounds, get off of them, and then eventually regain my weight because I wasn't looking at it in the right way. And what has changed most for me with Mounjaro, Ozempic, Wegovy, the compound semaglutide, what's changed for me now is that I learned that this is a tool to get me where I need to be and to learn new habits. And so that is what's most important. I know some people get hung up on the working out part of it, adding cardio. My biggest tip for that would be to learn to eat first. Learn to eat. Not necessarily is it going to be considered a diet. This is where I finally understand what it means to say it's a lifestyle change. For many, many years, the word diet to me was always what you did to lose weight. And I didn't realize that this is a lifestyle change. You have to make better habits the rest of your life to maintain this weight. Can we repeat that? You have to learn to change what you eat for the rest of your life to keep this weight off. Okay? So, for those of you who are my negative Nancy's out there, I love you too. I've learned to love everyone here, regardless of how negative you want to be in my comments. Most of my community is supportive, and I love you guys for that. You guys know that I rat and rave about my community so much because you guys are literally the best. But for my negative Nancy's out there who feel like, oh, as soon as you get off this medication, y'all are all going to gain this weight back, you're absolutely right. Anytime you get off of any type of medication or routine or healthy eating habits, you could be the most healthiest person on the planet, and then one day you decide, you know what? F it. I want burgers. I want pizza. I want ice cream. I want chips. The moment that you get off your healthy habits and go into bad habits, you're going to gain weight. It does not matter how fit or how healthy and how long you've been that way. If you change to bad eating habits, you will gain the weight back. So yes, I will definitely gain the weight back if I don't learn to make the right choices for my body during this time. So for those of you who are struggling with the working out and the eating part of it, I focus on your dietary habits first. Focus on what you're eating first. Get that down really well. Focus on meal prepping, because it takes a lot of energy, you guys. When you're not used to this, when you're used to just stopping and picking up something to eat for breakfast, for lunch, for dinner, whatever, you're used to going out with the family for restaurants and eating out, and then you've got to change your habits. Start slow. Start slow, make small changes. Start learning to meal prep a breakfast, and maybe you still eat out for lunch. You don't have to go at this full speed if you don't want to. Obviously, for some of us, we're a lot stronger minded. I know some people who were able to just cut turkey and able to lose 10, 15, 20 pounds a month. And yes, for you, okay? But for the rest of us who struggle a little bit more, it's not that easy. And don't beat yourself up over it. It's not going to be an overnight change. Do not expect to lose 5-10 pounds a week. That is not realistic, and it's not going to be long term. Use this time on these medications to learn to eat, okay? So start off slow. Start off focusing on making better habits. One of the easiest things that I've done is to eat my greens before I eat anything else. So I'll give myself a big serving of broccoli or salad or asparagus, whatever the green beans. I loved lemon butter green beans are one of my favorites to eat. And so what I do is that I get full on that now, instead of starting with the carbs, instead of starting with the bread, start with the healthier things, because with this medication you will get full really quickly. So if you eat a bigger portion of greens and then you quickly get full once you do take a bite of the bread or the burger or the steak or whatever you're eating, more likely you're not going to eat much of that because you've already filled your stomach with the greens. So that's one of my easiest things that I've been able to incorporate, is getting full off of fruit or vegetables prior to eating my whatever my main course is, right? And because, as you all know, I've preached this throughout my entire journey, I didn't cut anything out of my diet this go around. I know most every other time with whatever diet, it's so restrictive and it never worked for me. And this is how I know that for me, the problem was portion control. Okay, as hard as it is to admit to myself, for me, the hardest part was portion control. I did not realize that I wasn't supposed to be eating 3 slices of pizza, because to me, an obese person eats 1 or 2 pizzas. That's why they're like that. I eat normal serving. I'm eating 3 slices. And come to realize, somebody my size should only be having 1 slice of pizza. I could have 2, but then I need to cut down on whatever else I'm eating. I could have 3, but then maybe that might end up being my only meal of the day. And that's what you have to learn, how to check and balance your calories. It's simple as that. I know for a lot of you say it's not that simple. If it was that simple, the reason why it wasn't this easy before for me to portion control is because I was consistently hungry. I was hungry all the time. It could have been insulin resistance. That's usually what people blame it, the consistent hunger on, is insulin resistance. That's a part of it. It could be that because when you feed your body mostly carbs and sugar, it's consistently hungry. That's why they say eat high fiber foods to keep you fuller longer. Whatever the case was for me, I would wake up hungry. I wake up so early at 4:30 in the morning that by like 7 o'clock I'm starving. And then if I didn't eat anything, an hour and a half later I was starving again. I could eat lunch and then I would be fine until dinner, but then it was like the picking, the snacking. That's what you don't realize, how quickly your calories add up. And so that's why I say take a really good look at how many calories you're consuming. I know it sounds ridiculous. I know it sounds like, seriously, it's just that basic math. Like, you have to sit down, and sometimes you don't realize how quickly calories add up. Even a salad, something that you might think is healthy, once you add the greens, which is usually the lowest, like you can eat a ton of greens for 30-40 calories, but once you add the 1/4 cup of shredded cheese, the croutons that you threw in there, the ranch dressing you drenched over it, the whatever protein you added to it, once you add the boiled egg you chopped and diced up in there, once you add all that, like you will be able to eat a hearty 800-900 calorie salad before you know it, not even realizing it. And you're sitting here thinking, oh, I'm eating healthy because I'm eating salads, but not necessarily, because if you're drenching it with all those bad ingredients, or not bad ingredients, right, but high calorie ingredients, then you don't realize that you're eating an 800-900 calorie salad really quickly. So always be mindful. And sometimes, I snack on a few things here, a few chips, and I'm thinking it's 4 or 5 chips. It's not a big deal, but that's an added 90 calories I just ate, or 120 calories I just ate. Not even thinking about it, because sometimes I see my kids while I'm making dinner eating a bag of chips, and I'll go grab a few out of that. How many calories did I just grab, thinking that it's not a big deal? It's not something I counted in my calories today. But that little handful was probably 100 to 150 calories, which is significant, because chips are very high calorie. So this is what I mean when I say, like, sometimes we don't realize that we're overeating because you feel like it's a normal portion. For me, I always felt like, but I'm not eating 2 burgers with a large fry. I'm not eating chicken nuggets and a burger. I'm not eating, 2 pizzas. It's because for my height and my size, I should be eating very little. And this is why I'm comfortable at 180 pounds, because I feel like it's a weight that I'm going to be able to maintain. As I've said in many of my videos, it's not the healthiest weight. It's not my ideal weight, but it's where I feel comfortable. It's way better than me being at 240 pounds. I'm much better. I feel better. My confidence is gone through the roof. It's just, I can't explain it. I obviously have a lot more to lose, but as I said, I'm comfortable here for now. Will I choose to lose 20 more pounds in the future? Maybe. Time will tell. My other concern that I wanted to bring up was the fact that people say you haven't gained your weight back because you're still on the medication. And that is absolutely false. Okay? Not only can you gain your weight back while you're on the medication, you will gain your weight back. I know a few diabetics who initially lost a quick 10-15 pounds in the beginning, because they were adjusting to the medication. They were feeling nauseated. They weren't eating the same way. They were eating very little. They were sick, and they lost a quick 10-15 pounds, and they have regained their weight on the medication on higher doses. The problem is that they're not listening to their bodies. They're used to eating an entire meal, and that's what they feel like they should still be able to eat. And although they may feel full faster, they already are programmed to eat their usual meal, and they know that this is what they're used to eating, and so they continue to eat that meal. That's the problem. They're not listening to their bodies. Those of us who are conscious about the weight loss are listening to our bodies and are feeling like, okay, I feel full, I'm gonna stop. They're not so much concerned about that. So for those who say, oh, you don't gain, you're not gaining because you're on the medication, yes, you most definitely can gain. You know how I know? Because I've been very, very careful weighing myself every day, and I've been at 180, 179, 180, 181, and I went on vacation for a few days, and then I came back and didn't make the best decisions. I bought some treats while I was out of town that I don't typically eat because I was there at this bakery, and I'm like, I don't ever get to indulge in these kind of treats because I don't have them back home. So I bought a few cookies, I bought a few pieces of bread, and I ate more carbs than I typically do, and guess what? 183. Did I overeat? Did I feel like I overindulged? I didn't eat 2 or 3 cookies. I had 1 cookie that day. I didn't eat 2 or 3 pieces of pan dulce, but I had 1. But there are things that I don't typically add to my regular diet. And guess what? 183 this morning. 183. And I'm like, I'm 2 pounds away from 185. We're not doing this. And this is what I mean by, that's why I weigh myself no matter what. I didn't care that I came back from vacation, because normally in the past I would be like, yeah, no, we're not getting on the scale for like a week. Let me make a few good choices, and then I'll get back on the scale so I can pretend that I never gained weight. This time around I was like, no, you getting on the scale, girl. Like, we doing this. And sure enough, I was 183 pounds, and I was like, yeah, we're not doing this, so we're cutting back. So I fasted all day Saturday. I fasted all day Sunday. I just had my 1 meal. I did have probably more than I should during that 1 meal, but again, I was in that mindset of, well, I'm only eating once a day, so it's okay. And so I haven't gained. I've been stuck at 183 for 2 or 3 days now, but I'm hoping the scale will budge because I'm making better decisions. So today I ate very little for lunch. I had mostly protein for lunch with 2 or 3 spoonfuls of my mom's rice and homemade beans. And then for dinner, I had a big salad. It's 30 calories for that salad. And then I added some rotisserie chicken. And so that's what my dinner was. I did grab like 4 or 5 pieces of Fritos because my kids were snacking on Fritos and bean dip. And so I grabbed a few Fritos, but I should have enough calories left to do something like that today because I ate very low calorie the rest of the day. And so this is what I mean by, you can most definitely not lose weight on this medication and also gain weight while you're on this medication. So don't for a second think that because you're taking these meds, you're going to automatically lose weight and you're not going to gain. You can most definitely gain. On that note, we all know that I've been on the 7.5 for a few weeks now. I want to say maybe 6-7 weeks now. I haven't really kept very good track of it, but I only have 3 pens left, and I started with 12 pens, and so that would be 6 weeks left. 6 weeks that I've been on it. I have 3 weeks to go. I am mortified because, as you all know, my comfortable dose was 10 milligrams, and as you heard, I've been on the 7.5 for 6 weeks now, and it's getting hard. It's like at the beginning, maybe the 10 was still kind of in my system mixing with the 7.5, and it was not so bad. But 6 weeks in on 7.5, I am literally starving, you guys. And now I know what Erica meant when she said, I feel like, what's the point of me being on these medications if I'm starving all the time again anyways? And so unfortunately, my body was probably used to the higher dose, and so kicking it back down, it's bringing back those hunger pangs that I do not miss. It really does suck, for a lack of a better word, that you become accustomed to not consistently feeling that hunger pain, and you almost forget why you always ate in the first place. And so while you're on this medication, it's so easy to forget about that hunger pain. It's so easy for you to make better decisions because you're not always hungry, you're not starving. When you finally know it's time to eat, you're able to control it because you get full so quickly. And now being on this lower dose after being on the higher doses, I took my shot on Saturday. We are now Monday, and I'm just starving. Literally, like, I was trying to be good and I was trying to fast until dinner, but around 2 o'clock I couldn't help it. I couldn't take it anymore. My stomach was just growling, which I hadn't experienced a stomach growl in a while. Like, I get hungry, I get like starving, like nauseated hungry, but this time it was like my stomach just would not settle. Like, it was not having it. It was like, feed me. And so I ate a small portion, which still filled me up, but still I couldn't like make myself fast the rest of the time just because it was like that consistent hunger. And so I'm afraid that once I get off the medication completely, which I have to go see Dr. Z, see what he recommends, but he's going to tell me, like he told me last time, it's normal to feel hunger. And that's what scares me. And so it is normal to feel hunger, and it's up to me to be disciplined to eat smaller portions and continue the good choices that I've learned to make. And so, do I plan to do that? Yes, I do. You guys will be here to watch me. I want to be strong for you guys. I want to wean off of it just so that I could see what the struggles will be. And of course, as always, if you guys are, if you subscribe to my channel, you will come right along with me to figure all this out. And so, best case scenario, he will agree to leave me on a little bit longer, maybe on the compound tirzepatide. But worst case scenario, he's going to tell me, no, you've been on it long enough. You've maintained your weight at 180 pounds. What else do you want? Like, you've got to come off of this. Initially, he only wanted me on this medication for a year, and we all know I hit that 1 year a couple of weeks ago or a few weeks ago. And so I don't foresee that he's going to want to leave me on this medication. I could probably easily go to a different doctor who would probably prescribe it to me if I wanted it, because we all can find that one doctor that will say, if you want it, I'll give it to you. But that's not the point, you guys. I want to learn how to do this on my own. And so I'm anxious to see how that will go. I'm anxious to see if I will swell afterwards. I don't know if this is a diuretic and it's helping me not retain fluid. I don't know. I don't know exactly how my body will react once I'm completely off of it. But we shall see. And you will be here to help me along the way and to learn from each other. And like I said, I completely love you guys for that. So thank you so much for everyone who watched this. Please leave it in the comments what your struggles are, and I would love to hear where you guys are at. How are you doing on your journeys? Because we all know that so many people read the comments, you guys. So if there's something that you want to share about your journey, make sure you leave it below in the comments, because we all appreciate going in to read. And although I try to respond to almost every comment that I get, I do have an overwhelming flow of comments sometimes, and so I read most of them, because sometimes if I'm busy or something, I will look at my notifications and I will read them and try to answer as much as possible. So I do at least read your comments, you guys. Thank you for everyone who's been supportive of the channel. Remember to hit the subscribe button, like this video, and also if you want to support the channel by giving me a super thanks, then I am more than happy to accept your thanks. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Till next time, talk soon.